39 stitches, a foot torn open. He was resting in his hut, a 74-year-old man enjoying a quiet afternoon on Rinca Island. But in a flash, the silence shattered. A blur of scales, claws, and teeth lunged through the doorway and locked onto his foot. The Komodo dragon had been chasing a cat, but it found Hamra instead. As blood pooled beneath him and his screams echoed across the jungle, his wife cried for help. But by the time others arrived, the damage was done. 39 stitches, a foot torn open, a brush with death in one of the few places on Earth where dragons still roam free. Was this a freak accident, or a warning sign that even today, ancient predators are never truly tame? This is the story of survival against one of nature's most ruthless hunters. Welcome to the Animal Quest channel. If you want more real, shocking, true stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Rinca Island, a rugged jewel in Indonesia's Komodo National Park, is a place where time seems to stand still. Here, the dense jungle hums with life, and ancient Komodo dragons, the world's largest lizards, roam freely, rulers of a domain untouched by modern fear. Hamra had called this island home for all his 74 years. Weathered by sun and sea, his face told the story of a lifetime spent in quiet coexistence with creatures most would never dare approach. Unlike tourists who come seeking thrills, Hamra's connection to this land was deep and unshakable. "I've seen them walk past many times," Hamra once said in an interview, his voice calm, almost reverent. "As long as you don't bother them, they don't bother you." But in the months leading up to that fateful day, whispers began to ripple through the island community. Komodo dragons, once shy and distant, were inching closer to human settlements. Bold encounters became frequent, alarming signs ignored by many. An elder man in the local market shared his concerns quietly. "They say it's because of the tourists feeding them, or maybe the heat, but I say the dragons themselves are changing." Warnings circulated, signs were posted. Yet daily life carried on as usual. Hamra, like many islanders, trusted his instincts and decades of experience. He believed the ancient balance between man and beast remained intact. But on January 18, 2025, that belief would be tested in the most harrowing way imaginable. Stay with us as we explore every twist of this harrowing encounter and uncover what it reveals about the fragile line between survival and tragedy. It was early afternoon on January 18, 2025. The sun beat down relentlessly on Rinca Island. The humidity thickened the air. Hamra had just returned from the forest, where he'd been gathering firewood for the evening. His legs were tired, and he settled into a worn wooden chair inside his humble hut to rest. His wife, Sari, moved quietly in the small kitchen area, preparing tea. Outside, their cat, Lindu, was darting after something unseen, a soft meow breaking the stillness. Hamra's voice, calm but edged with tension, recalls what happened next. "Then I heard the wood creak, and I looked up. At the doorway stood a massive Komodo dragon, its scales mottled with earth tones, its forked tongue flicking rapidly in and out, tasting the air. The dragon's eyes were locked on Lindu, the cat it had been chasing moments before. But it didn't stop at the cat. The beast moved forward slowly, calculated, almost eerily deliberate. And then in a terrifying instant, it lunged. Hamra's scream shattered the afternoon calm. "It's biting my foot," he cried out, his voice raw with pain and disbelief. The dragon's jaws clamped down on Hamra's left foot with brutal force. Its serrated teeth sank deep, tearing through skin, muscle, and bone. Blood sprayed across the wooden floor as Hamra fought desperately, trying to shove the monstrous predator away. Sari's voice trembled with horror from just outside the camera's reach. "I screamed and screamed. I thought he was going to die in front of me." Komodo dragons don't kill quickly. Their bite is a deadly cocktail, infused with venom that prevents blood clotting and teeming with harmful bacteria. Within seconds, Hamra's foot was crushed and shredded, the pain unimaginable. Neighbors nearby heard the screams and rushed toward the hut, adrenaline and fear driving them. One man grabbed a long bamboo pole, wielding it like a spear. It took 3 strong men to finally force the dragon back, out of the hut, and away from Hamra's mangled foot. Hamra lay there, blood pooling beneath him, his body trembling from shock and pain. His foot was barely attached. An ambulance raced down the bumpy dirt road, its driver pushing speed to the limit. The remote island's small hospital was the only hope. At the hospital, doctors faced a grim task. They counted 39 puncture wounds, jagged holes torn deep into flesh. Several major veins had been nicked, raising fears of severe blood loss. But there was something else, an unexpected complication. The doctors discovered that Hamra's wounds were not just mechanical. The venom in the Komodo's bite had already begun to spread, causing swelling and signs of systemic infection. Time was critical. Despite this, Hamra survived. His foot was saved, stitched carefully with 39 stitches. But the incident sent shockwaves through the island community, raising urgent questions. What had caused the Komodo dragon to attack so viciously, so close to a human home? Was it hunger? Was it provoked? Or was something far more sinister at play? A changing environment, shifting animal behavior, or the impact of humans encroaching on their territory? Local officials and park rangers began re-examining safety protocols. Experts reminded the public that Komodo dragons are wild, unpredictable predators, not merely oversized lizards. Even the most experienced islanders are vulnerable. Hamra's story became a warning, a shocking reminder that on Rinca Island, the ancient predators still rule, and respect for their power is the only safeguard. But the story doesn't end here. There was a second, unexpected twist in this attack, something that pushed the horror even further. While Hamra lay recovering in the small hospital on Flores Island, his wife Sari stayed behind at their home on Rinca. She cared for their remaining animals and tried to piece her life back together after the traumatic attack. What she didn't know, and what no one on the island expected, was that the Komodo dragon was not done with them. 2 nights after the attack, under the cover of darkness, the dragon returned. Locals captured grainy cell phone footage showing the same massive Komodo gliding silently toward Hamra's hut. Its tongue flicked in and out, tasting the air, its eyes fixed on the door. The creature moved with eerie patience, circling the hut slowly, as if marking its territory. This time, the dragon was not hunting Hamra. It was hunting the scent, the unmistakable coppery smell of blood that still lingered in the wooden floorboards. Neighbors, awakened by the sounds of the dragon's heavy breathing and the scraping of claws, rushed outside banging pots, shouting and waving torches to scare it away. Eventually, the dragon slunk back into the dense jungle, vanishing as silently as it had come. But the message was clear. On Rinca Island, once a Komodo dragon marks its territory, it never forgets. The attack was not just a random act of aggression, it was a warning. The dragon had staked its claim, reminding the islanders that their fragile coexistence with these prehistoric predators was growing even more dangerous. Local wildlife officials took the incident seriously, stepping up patrols and issuing new safety warnings to residents and visitors alike. For Hamra and his family, the ordeal was far from over. And for the people of Rinca Island, it was a stark reminder that nature's balance here is delicate and can be shattered in an instant. News of the attack spread quickly across Indonesia, sparking a wave of concern and debate. Television broadcasts showed the headline, "Elderly Man Bitten by Komodo Dragon on Rinca Island." The story dominated local news, drawing attention not only to the danger, but to deeper questions about the fragile relationship between humans and these ancient predators. Government officials, conservationists, and park authorities scrambled to respond. Some blamed increasing human encroachment on dragon habitats. Others pointed fingers at tourism, which brought people closer to the dragons than ever before. A local official spoke out. "We can't fence the island. That would disrupt the ecosystem. But we can improve education for residents and visitors, enforce better safety zones, and ensure no one underestimates the power of these animals." In the days that followed, stricter safety protocols were put in place. Tourist groups to Rinca Island were temporarily suspended as officials reassessed risks and reinforced warning systems. Rangers increased patrols to monitor dragon movements and prevent further incidents. But for Hamra, the headlines and regulations mattered little. The physical wounds were healing, but the psychological scars ran deep. In a rare audio interview, his voice heavy with emotion, Hamra confessed, "I used to love this place, Now, I don't sleep. I see it in my dreams. That dragon, it's always there. His story became a somber warning, a reminder that even those who know the land best are vulnerable when nature's ancient instincts clash with modern life. And as the Komodo dragons continue to roam, their presence looms as a silent, primal threat, a force that commands respect and fear in equal measure. Komodo dragons are relics of another time, apex predators from the age of giants. Their very presence on Rinca Island is a living reminder that some parts of the world remain ruled by raw, ancient forces. But as human life pushes deeper into wild spaces, those ancient instincts are being stirred, reawakened by proximity and changing landscapes. What happened to Hamra was not merely an unfortunate accident. It was a fatal oversight, an underestimation of nature's rules, a belief that the balance had shifted in humanity's favor. The wooden hut where it all unfolded still stands. If you look closely, you might see the faint, bloody footprint on the doorframe, a silent testament to the price paid for forgetting the power of these creatures. Because when you live in a dragon's kingdom, you must never forget you are the guest. They said the dragons were getting bolder. Hamra didn't believe it until one tried to eat him. For more real animal attack stories, subscribe and hit the bell. Have you ever had a wild animal encounter? Tell us in the comments below. Check out our story on our channel about Julia Banks, and coming next is The Woman Mauled by Her Own Pet Chimp.